Yo, what is up, boys? I'm going to show you how to completely reinvent yourself. You can see here, guys, this picture of me on the left is absolutely devastating, and there are a lot worse than that, I can tell you that for free. And this one here on the right, that's just like literally 20 minutes ago. And you can completely create the man you want to be. You know, I often hear people say, I want a Lamborghini and da-da-da-da-da, right? I hear clients say that all the time, all the business clients. And I'm like, yeah, I get you want a Lamborghini, but become the Lamborghini and then go fucking buy the Lamborghini. Because here's one thing, guys. If somebody said, Tom, would you rather have a Lamborghini and be the guy on the left, or would you rather be the guy on the right and not have a Lamborghini? I would fucking much rather be me. I'll take both. But you want to be the person you want to be before you get the material things, right? I always say to everybody, right? Focus on who you want to become, not what you want to have. Because if you go and get everything you want in life, hypothetically, but you still don't like who you are, you're going to feel so empty. The only way to true fulfillment as a guy, as a real man, is growth, is becoming the best version of yourself, self-actualization and self-transcendence. Being in that highest frequency and chasing down more within yourself. I'm going to give you a full bulletproof protocol on how I would go about doing this, because one of the best, most impactful things anybody can do, in fact, the most impactful thing anybody can do as a man in this generation, is just become the best version of themselves and take everything to its peak. You want to be turning your strengths into absolute crazy level strengths, and you want to turn your weaknesses into the craziest level strengths as well. Okay, so like, what even is Lux Maxim, first of all, because it's a bit of a clicky bait title, right? But you want to be overriding these genetics. You want to be like, right, this is my position. Like, the thing is, right, if we look at this guy on the left, that guy could have had a dream and that dream won't come into fruition. Why? Because a dream is nothing. Dreams don't come true, guys. Definitive goals, definitive plans and strategies are what come true. Okay, so what I did were, I literally wrote down, like, I guarantee you how I look right now, and also the life I live with the business and the lifestyle out here in Dubai. It was all written down, but I've sculpted me like a piece of art. Like, you want to treat yourself like a painting. Draw who you want to become. I had literally drawn down, and guys, I'm more of a systems guy than an artist. I know the look I want, but using vision boards, but because I'm a systems guy, I had the bullet points, obviously. I had a list of bullet points, and I have one now for a future version of myself. But I had a list of bullet points of everything from my skin, from the glow of my skin, to my hair, to my delts, to my smell, to my style, to my communication, everything. But we're not going to go too much into that. We're going to keep it more on the aesthetic side today. Okay, but you want to be all out better in everything. Better physique, better skin, better hair, better hygiene, better fragrance, better style, better everything. Because you have 100% control of all of it. You can say you've got the bad genetics. I had the bad genetics. You can override them, guys, when you've got a definitive desire and output that you want to achieve. When you achieving this goal is more important than any fear of failure, that's when you will win. Okay? On the left here, like, what's going to get much worse than that? There's nothing to lose. Go all in. And I tell you what, as a byproduct of going all in on you and who you are, just from an aesthetic standpoint, you 10x your self-image. You 10x your confidence. You 10x your ability to trust your conscience. So, for example, this guy on the left, when my conscience would tell me all the great ideas I would have, I wouldn't act on them because I'd go, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm just a fucking simp in a kebab shop. This photo was me in a kebab shop. I can't do that because my habits were bad. My standards were low. When you looks max and you override everything and you put strategy in place, you're on a higher standard, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you know you're a high standard guy and you've done it in yourself and you can see the vehicle, you're looking in the mirror and you are the man you respect and admire. When your conscience, the authentic voice of God, speaks to you, which is your guide for life, everybody has it, only 1% follow it, because only 1% have built themselves into the man that can actually trust their conscience. And only that 1% will be fulfilled in life because they're actually following their God-given purpose. You're going to have a 10x vision. Again, when you look at yourself, you're going to be thinking, what aren't I capable of? Every man should think he can conquer everything on the planet. Okay? Every man should be thinking, you know what? If I put my mind to anything, I can have it. If I want to be the world's best pianist, I will be it. If I want to be the world's best ice hockey player, I will be it. And I honestly act like that. I'm like, anything I want, I get it. It's do I want it or do I not? And I have a choice. Now, I know the path I'm taking in life, and I know the things that I'm going for and I'm taking and I will get. But that's because I've built that inner confidence from going all in. And obviously it takes discipline, it takes habits, it takes processes. You don't just do this overnight. This is a habit system embedded into your life that you live by. You're going to be respected. The amount of conversations and opportunities. I actually had in Dubai a 7-figure opportunity. Had a contract sent over from a brand basically saying, look, this was a year or two back now. This was in 2023, my first, when I'd moved to Dubai. And I had a contract from a brand and it was an amazing opportunity. It weren't 100% aligned with me. I didn't actually take it. And again, that's a self-worth thing. I was staying true to my exact path and vision that I wanted to take. But that came from somebody coming up to me in a gym in Dubai and saying, you look amazing, like this would be a great opportunity. That came from how I looked. I would have never thought that as the guy on the left. But I turned into somebody physique and aesthetic and got that look about me, which just demanded respect. Also, I can tell you now when I travel or when I go out or when I go into a nice restaurant, I'm approached not just by women, we'll talk about that later, but by men. I can remember a big story when I was in a gym called Body Factory in Bali. And within my first 24 hours, I would just be stood in the spa area by the little restaurant-y bar stall thing. And over 10 to 15 guys had all come up to me and said, you look fucking class, bro. You know, what are you eating, bro? Like, you just start conversations. And what's great about this is I was always very introverted, right? No surprise. And by just becoming the attractive character, you attract the inbounds. Okay, you attract an inbound for networking. Then, if you go and turn this into, and you post this from a personal brand standpoint, and you get your Instagram up and you start showing how you look on Instagram as well, you create inbounds not only in person, but online. And that best version of yourself, that better looking version, and not only that, the higher frequency version of yourself, when you walk in a room, you've got aura. People sense that and people want to get to know more about you. People can really, really sense that. Networking, like I said, and then here, guys, interest from high value women. Ridiculous, right? Me there again on the left, I would have been somebody that had to try very hard to get women. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had a definitive goal of a woman I wanted, I would do my very best, and I would pull some very fit chicks, okay? Surprisingly, right? But guys, there is nothing better than being an inbound machine. I do not outbound girls at all. I just let them come in. Likewise, if I go in a gym, if I go to a bar or restaurant, I just walk in. And obviously there's other elements to it, you know, like there's a physique we're going to talk about, but your aesthetic, the aura, and also just people can sense when you're doing better. I also noticed a lot as I started earning a lot more money and doing very well and financially, that also comes through in your aura. And you do go into rooms and women can sniff it a mile off and they start giving you the eyes, they come over, anything to start a conversation. Oh, are you using these dumbbells 15 meters away? No, I'm not, darling. You know, but hi, my name's Tom, right? Like you get a lot of that. And it's because you've become the attractive character. Everybody also talks about this, guys. For any of you guys who have businesses where you're working with clients, service-based, like I do my coaching business, right? Don't focus on trying to do loads of stupid shit and selling your soul. Just become the attractive character. Become someone that people respect and would like to learn from because you look good and have clearly just walked the path. So inbounds come, I've put here at the bottom, career opportunities. Career opportunities will come. Like I said earlier, I had that opportunity, but then also clients. Why have we worked with thousands and thousands of clients? Because I show I walk the walk and lead from the front. And 10x standards. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And by you just living by this process and holding yourself to the highest standard and only accepting the very best, guess what? You're going to do exactly the same in every single other area of your life, whether that's in your career, with your finances, in relationships, with your networking. Everything's just going to bleed across, okay? So let's get into how we can go about doing this. I'm going to keep this very simple on each slide. I want this to be very actionable. I don't want this to be a lecture on each thing. Let's just get straight in. So the first thing, if we're talking physique-wise, what we want to be doing, guys, is you want to just be very honest with yourself and assess your current position. If any of you do have, a very definitive goal, the best thing you can do is just get a coach. I always have coaches and mentors, physique-wise and business-wise. Like, all I want to do is delegate out. My whole process with everything is just be the robot. I just want to be the doer. Like, all I do is just do the doing and delegate out. Now, I've got a huge physique coaching company and I've got a huge business coaching company. So why don't I do it myself? Well, they're telling me the same thing I would do myself, but I like that accountability. I like that process. And it's just good to be the student. It's good to be the listener. Everybody's got an ego these days. So if you are in a position or you do have that definitive goal, that's the best thing you can do, and you want to opt straight in for that. However, the process you would then go through, you want to be assessing where are you right now. Most people aren't even self-aware enough in checking where they are in this moment. How much muscle mass do you have? How much body fat do you have? How sensitive is your body? Write down your end goal and not a simpy one. I hate it. If somebody says, I just kind of want to lose a few pounds, I'm nearly there, been going a few years. Shut the fuck up. No, you don't, right? Not everybody wants to be like a bodybuilder, and I don't. I just want to look good for life, right? I just want to be my best self. I love aesthetics. I'm crazy on aesthetics, okay? And look, just go all in, but write your end goal. Be honest with yourself. How much muscle mass? And not even just that. What physical performance, what mental performance do you want? Where do you want the tissue? Where are the striations going to be? That physique right there, guys, I'd pictured that years before that came to fruition, right? Which is crazy. And I just made it happen. Just live by a process, success by subtraction. I invested in myself. And what's crazy is in that time frame I did that, there's guys who have trained longer than me who don't look 10% of that and are still scratching their heads. It's because I just went straight to the knowledge and went straight to the process and stopped procrastinating. When people aren't taking max action, they're just burning time because they don't value themselves. So you got to work on the mind. You got to be accountable. Physique roadmap. Once you've got a good end goal, not a simpy one, you then want to be running through a priming phase, a diet and recomp phase, a reverse phase, a holding phase, and a performance phase. I'm not going to go too deep on this. I don't want this to be a 30-minute lecture on physique coaching. You can go and check out other videos where I've talked about this. Like I said, if you're all in on it and you're really, really serious and you want to look your very best, we can help you out with that for sure. There'll be a link below here. Just go through watch the video, see if it sounds aligned, click in, and then we can chat and we can just talk about it, okay? If not, just shoot me an Instagram DM at Tom D. Pearson. Just seen your YouTube video. I want to discuss what I can do, okay? It's cool. You're going to be speaking with me. Training protocol. This is important. Most people don't actually think about this. Your training program needs to be custom built. It needs to be built around where are your current proportions. So that physique, not to sound arrogant, in my opinion, is very aesthetic. Or it's aesthetic to my eyes. It's the physique I wanted to create. Now, anyone can, when we chat to clients, I'm like, what do you want, right? And each to their own. But that came from understanding my exact position in my old body and knowing, okay, well, if this is the ratio we want, we need to make sure we've got X amount of working sets in this body part, X amount of volume in this part. We need to be training a certain style, okay? And not only that, we need to be training with 100% intention, execution, intensity, and focus and progression. Because if we don't do that, right, even if we had the perfect program, well, then guess what, guys? You're not going to be isolating and putting the tension through the muscle to cause that hypertrophy and get everything growing at different rates so we can create the aesthetic. Otherwise, you can just grow and just look like a lamppost. You can just look like a brick fucking wall, right? You want to create a nice aesthetic. Nutrition-wise, macros and meal plan each week. Like right now, guys, like I said this, I'm going through my own looks max this year. You know, last year I was so, you know, all in on the business, and I made a video recently saying, look, I'm all in on the physique and me. Again, I'm walking the walk, and you know, I'm just following macros, meal plan every day, doing as I'm told, and I love it. You know, it's success by subtraction. Life is so easy when you just follow your process. Then I'll go out for maybe an odd dinner, a couple of dinners a week with clients or networking or with a chick, and I'll just manage accordingly. I'll take some meals out and just pick wisely while I'm out. Whole foods as much as possible. Remove all the processed BS and remove alcohol. Supplements wise, guys, you want to just be going standard supplements really for guys. Vitamin D3, B complex, creatine, magnesium, zinc, omega-3. They're all going to help with energy and reducing inflammation and intramuscular fullness and hormone balance as well. Hydration and electrolytes. You want that intramuscular fullness, guys. So as much as your macros are important, getting the glycogen, so are electrolytes and hydration, because in your muscle belly, it's made up of water, glycogen, which come from carbohydrates, and then electrolytes, sodium, okay? And that's how we create that fullness. That's how we're going to get the best training performance. Sometimes if you've ever been to the gym, guys, first thing in the morning, most people think, oh, my performance was down because I hadn't eaten. Your performance was down because you didn't have sufficient hydration and electrolytes in the muscle, which meant that you didn't get the hydration in the muscle, which meant it couldn't contract properly and your strength was down. Okay, you'll still have carbohydrates, don't just disappear overnight. Okay, so that's all it is. You need to make sure that that's optimized. And also a lot of things we're going to talk about here will bleed into impacting in other areas. Like one big thing for me, you can see from that first photo I showed you, is how bad my skin used to be genetically. It was awful. One of my biggest insecurities growing up as a kid, I just hated it. My face was just in pain all the time. And, you know, genetics was a big part, but my diet was a big part. So just cleaning everything up, improving my hydration, electrolyte balance, supplements, and just training and moving and doing my steps and doing some cardio and then eating a whole food diet was so important, and hitting my macros, especially in a dieting phase. When I'm in a dieting phase, my skin becomes immaculate. Sleep as well for recovery. I put that last. It's important, guys, but when you're on your grind, it's the last thing I would worry about. It sounds controversial, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I will be here full energy, beaming, if I had 2 hours sleep or if I had 8 hours sleep. I really don't give a fuck. Do everything else first. Skincare. Okay, you want to get good skin, guys, because again, it's first impressions. So like right now, you would see my shape, you would see my taper, you would see everything fits, you'd see the density in my chest and my shoulders if we were just stood next to each other and I was in this quarter zip. But that's presence, but you can't see all my aesthetics, and you can't see veins and abs and da-da-da, right? What you can see is you would see my skin glowing. And you guys, you can look at old stuff of mine. I'm not saying I've had the best skin for my entire life. This is something I've struggled with for a lifetime so far, for 24 years, right? And I'm really moving in the right direction with it now. And a lot of this ties back into physique. A lot of it's success by subtraction, making life easier, removing things, removing processed foods, removing seed oils, removing any form of processed stuff is by far the biggest thing. If I put in processed stuff tomorrow, I'll have something pop up on my face. Now, not everybody's like that. I know some people that eat McDonald's every day. You shouldn't do that anyway. It's just disrespectful to your body and your insides. But if I did that, you know, my skin would be horrendous, okay? Remove all alcohol and drugs. I always say that, and by this, guys, as well, when I say drugs, I'm not just talking about your little festival drugs and your whatever you call it, MD and cat or whatever the fuck people do these days, cocaine and shit. It's fucking crazy what people put in the body. But I'm so like, I'm not with the girl at the minute, but my ex would be like, I might be like, oh, I got a headache randomly. And she'd be like, oh, paracetamol. I'm like, don't fucking give me paracetamol. Like, I'm a bad one for, I don't want anything which isn't bioidentical. Like, I want to know exactly where my body is. I'm like, if I've got a headache, something's wrong. Maybe it's electrolytes. Maybe it's hydration, right? Maybe I've just been staring at a screen too long. But like, I want to know how I feel. And two, that's not made in your body. Like, nowhere in your body is paracetamol naturally, right? Unless it's bioidentical, don't put it in your body. You want only bioidentical things, and then they want to be in the ranges. So you'd only supplement to stay in range. You don't want to go high. You don't want to go low. You supplement to stay in. And you definitely don't want to be putting any chemicals which aren't bioidentical in your body. Okay? Next thing, potentially remove dairy. I've put potential on these because, again, this is a little bit more dependent on the person. My skin, again, is hypersensitive. It's just genetic. You can do something called a gene test. Can't remember the exact name of it, but you can do a gene test. There's a company called like 10X Health, Grant Cardone's business in America. They're big on it these days. And effectively, you can just see all your pathways. You can see what supplements you need because everyone's genetic differences mean that people basically don't process certain vitamins and minerals and chemicals in their body as well as others. So, for example, I could take 5,000 vitamin D3 and you could, but I only process 1,000, so I might need to take 20,000 a day to actually stay in range. And it's the deficiencies of vitamins and minerals and inside your body chemicals, really, that cause these things, right? Disease and illness and all of this stuff. So we just want to stay in ranges. A healthy body will do whatever the fuck we want it to do. So some people, if their genes are good, you don't need to remove it. If you are having dairy, I would say try and have raw dairy. So just high quality, unprocessed dairy. I know me, I don't use any protein powders at all. I don't even use vegan. I'm not saying I haven't ever in my life. I have, but over the last probably 18 months, I haven't. Just all whole food when it comes to meat. And I go grass fed. Again, I didn't always have the budget for that. But, just go step by step. As you move forward in life, just slowly invest more in yourself. I always say I don't have a budget for my self-investment, okay? It doesn't matter if it's my skin, if it's my physique, or anything else we're going to talk about. There is no budget for me becoming better, whether that's mentally and knowledge and skills, which isn't this video, or whether it's physique, skin, hair, how I look, how I operate, how I feel. There is no budget for that. People will go and blow loads of money on booze and nights out and cars, and I'm like, no, there should be no budget for you and a budget for things on you. Unlimited into you, cap what's on you, okay? Potentially remove gluten, again, especially if it's processed gluten. So like just shitty breads. If I'm having bread, I go for a high quality bagel or sourdough. That's probably one of the only unwhole food things I don't have, but I mean, it's still pretty solid. Is a really high quality sourdough. And essentially by that, what I mean is just remove all high inflammatory foods and drinks. I don't eat anything processed these days. Now, I'm not saying I won't ever, but you won't just catch me doing it. And if it's like a Saturday night and I'm like, okay, I'm going to order food or I'm going to go to a restaurant, I still won't. It would be an extremely rare occasion if I would just do it. And you know what, guys? It's not just from a skin. It's not just from a physique standpoint. A lot of the things I'm talking about, people say, oh, don't you drink because of this? Or, why aren't you having this? Is it for your physique? I'm like, no, because I've built such a physique. I couldn't just have one thing and like someone would tell the difference. Right? Once you've built such a solid foundation, you're not going to tell. The difference is mentally. I like to be systemed, and I just don't like brain fog. All these things also for me tie into brain fog. I like to be focused. For example, right now it's like 8 p.m. and I've been working. Obviously, I've been to the gym and I've, had some food, but like I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning. I'm still wired with energy. I'm still thinking of things. I don't ever want to sleep. I just want to work. I just want to get better. This is because I'm so optimized with my macros, with my foods, with my supplements, with my daily process, with my environment. It just takes you into another league. Like people sometimes say, like, you're fucking crazy. Like you've got so much energy. I didn't used to. I used to be like, it's a trained skill, and I've really invested in myself to get to this point. I used to be so lethargic. I used to be horizontal. I was literally like a lying down, lethargic, brain fogged little fuck when I was younger. And even until just a few years ago. Okay. Some would say remove caffeine. Don't remove caffeine. Caffeine is absolutely amazing. The only thing I would say with caffeine, right? Because some people say, oh, remove caffeine for your skin because it dries your skin out. Counter that, just drink more water. So I love my caffeine. So I just go from 4.5, where I should be, liters of water, to 5.5 to 6, because you can get dry skin, and dry skin can also cause skin issues. Okay. But caffeine's class. Guys, caffeine is world class. And I heard on the grapevine that the Egyptians built the pyramids because they had caffeine. So I'm not going to take a risk on that information being potentially, right. And if it is right and I miss out on not consuming lots of caffeine, that's going to be a one lifetime wasted. So I'm going to be consuming a lot of caffeine. Okay. Hydrate 4+ liters of water per day. Skincare routine. Important. Okay. Now, I'm going to be honest. The last month or so, I've not had everything on here, but I will be. And I'm actually doing a shop. I'm heading back to, I'm getting a new villa in Bali, which is cool. I'm in Dubai at the minute, but I have a switch between. I'm just jumping back to Bali for a little bit of time, going monk, and just grinding physique, process, work, content. I want to get some cool vlogs and do some traveling over that way as well for you guys. And over there's a great skincare shop. Now you can order all this, but I've got one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I want it today. And I would rather wait like 3 days to just get it in 3 days and get it on that day. So I'm going to get it there. Main things, I've summarized it down because you can go on huge lists, right? But Korean skincare is what you want. This is what all the best, sexiest chicks with the best skincare, they all rave about Korean skincare, and they're not wrong. These girls with immaculate glowing skin, right? Oh my God, they use Korean skincare and they look stunning. And do you know what, guys? I would say I'm edging on the stunning side since I've taken their advice. So it seems to be working. These women have given me their advice on skincare, and they're just attracting me more women. Like you say, guys, more pussy never gets you less pussy. One, because it's like gravity. One of the most attractive things to women is, are other women attracted to you? But two, the knowledge you can gain from being with these women. Okay. So you need salicylic acid. I'm not sure if this is spelt right. You want a salicylic acid face wash. You want a toner that you would then use after. In the morning, after the toner, you would then go vitamin C, niacinamide, then moisturizer. In the evening, you would do the salicylic acid, toner, skip the vitamin C, niacinamide, retinol, and then moisturizer. So retinol in the evening. Make sure you do them in that order and let them all soak in. I've been advised on this many times because I used to rush them and just mush them all in together. Apparently that's wrong. Step by step. And do you know what, guys? It's made my skin a lot better. Diet's the biggest thing. Diet and hydration. But then just also skincare. The thing is, guys, I'd imagine you guys are all tanking the gym and whatever. And you're going to get a bit sweaty. You're going to get a bit dirty. Okay? And you want to keep that skin clean. Wash your hands and rinse your face more often. This is something I consciously do more these days. My inside biology is not asked about this. I'm a northern guy from Huddersfield, a little bit rough around the edges. I weren't a guy that would wash my hands. I was an engineer. I'd just have black, oily hands, working in the mills under the machines with the rats for the majority of my working life before I was doing this. And I couldn't give a fuck about scratches and cuts and black hands, but that didn't help my skin either. Okay, so I've become a lot more clean cut and keeping clean because I'm a bad one. I touch my face so much. I've tried to stop it a lot recently, but because it was a bad habit, but also you just don't want stuff. If you're grabbing dumbbells, if you're in the gym, you're sweating, you're touching your face, just rinse your face. You'd have to do this full routine, but just give your hands and face a quick rinse. A few times, especially if you've, just touched something dirty. And try and get some sun. This has been a big one. Obviously, I've been living away the last few years in Dubai is my base, but then obviously travel Europe and place in Bali and wherever. I like the sun. Now, what I will say is this last 6 to 9 months in Dubai, I had a little Bali trip, and I You know, I went to the UK for Christmas for 3 days. There was no sun there. But I've not had much sun in the last 9 months. People think I get loads of sun because I'm in Dubai. I don't, because I've just been so work focused. This is the biggest mistake I've made. This last 5-6 days, since the 27th, probably a week since I got back from the UK from Christmas, I've made a deal that I'm going to get out in the sun for 30 minutes a day, audiobook on, so it's still productive. And I'm doing my steps at the same time. So I'm like sun, steps, audiobook, all like literally 3 birds, 1 stone, boom. Okay. And if you don't have that, right, because that makes you feel so much better energy wise, but also just your skin just looks so much better with some sun on it. You're just going to feel way better. If not, go on a sunbed. Now, again, this might be controversial. I couldn't fucking care, right? We live once, right? And I know when I was back in the UK, I used to go on sunbeds here and there, and I used to feel way better after it. I would look way better. I would feel better inside. Don't abuse them, right? But if you really have no sun, you would be better with a sunbed than without, in my opinion, because you don't want to be vitamin D deficient. It's one of the worst things. Like one of the worst things, and 80-something% of the population in the US, let alone the UK, are deficient. The UK is 110% deficient. Go on a sunbed, right? Everyone talks about the downside of a sunbed. The downside of being vitamin D deficient 365 days a year is much worse. And I would rather feel better, right? Honestly. So go on a sunbed once or twice a week. Start easy. Depends how your skin is. I do go brown. So my body can just take anything I send it, okay? But it will help massively. You're going to feel better. If you can get sun, get sun. Next thing is hair. Now, again, I could be a little bit of a hypocrite on this because some of this year I've been completely head shaven like a monk, just grinding on the business, and thought, you know what, why not shave my head, save some time going to the barbers, which is a couple of hours round trip. By the time they've faffed around, they take a long time out here in Dubai. Well, some of them do. And also, I had one guy say, oh, I want to build a coaching business like you, Tom, but I got a bad hairline. So I was like, oh my God, you're such a wet little pussy, in a joking way, as a sound guy. But I shaved my head. I was just like, I had a few comments like that. And it weren't just one guy. I had a few comments. And I was like, I'm just going to shave my head. Like, guys, it doesn't make a fucking difference. Can you guys stop procrastinating and fearing failure? Right now, you're at the failure. You can't go down if you've not built your purpose yet. So, tangent, sorry. I'm growing my hair. I'm going to keep it around here. This is where I used to say I wanted it. Just like rough on the top, skin fade on the sides. I'm not going to act like a full-on expert with hair. I'm not no hair salon guy. But you want to be, if you got some hair, guys, you want to be trim every 4 to 7 days. Now, you may go, oh, that's expensive, right? I don't care, right? Change your definition of money. What is money good for? Getting better, not spending money on rubbish. Getting better, right? And every time you get better, you become more competent, you become more capable, and a better, more confident version who is more likely to then earn cash flow. Had the conversation with a client earlier, and he was talking about how he doesn't want his money to go down his bank account because he was spending, and it doesn't matter. But like, I'm like, why, what's the attachment to money? You only want money to get things and get better. So the goal is to increase your self-confidence and ability so you can cash flow more in the future, right? Do whatever it takes. Every little micro piece adds up. And I know when I've got a fresh trim, I operate better. I had a fresh trim this morning, and now I'm like, boom, I want to film. I want to film fucking 10 videos today because I'm like, I've just had a fresh trim. You guys all know how it feels to have a fresh trim. So get them. Get them more often. Treat yourself. It also says I'm worth it. It's my standards. If you guys have a budget around investing in your skincare, investing on good food, investing in coaches, investing in a trim, investing in you, getting better, you are saying I have no self-worth and I want to lose, right? You should have no budget with this. And invest in a good product, just a little product, something that's not just like looks tacky. You can see one of those tacky ones. Get a timeless haircut, right? It's each to their own. You guys know what styles you pull off, and there are different styles, and they all look good. I'm not going to tell you what style haircut to get, Jesus, but what I will say is just get something which is respectful. Like if you were to go in any room and you'd put on some nice clothes, you'd be taken serious. It's all about being taken serious, okay? So just get a timeless haircut, Timeless means effectively whether you had it now or in 10 years, it would still be applicable, right? Rather than something crazy and wacky because like you saw one celebrity get it and now you think you should get it and everyone's gonna think you're a weirdo in 5 weeks time. Or even now, most people might. Whatever style, you want to look sharp and clean cut. You want to look respectable. Beard trimmed and lined up or fresh shaven, right? If you look like a baby, fresh shaven, don't go fresh shaven. Electric trimmer for body hair. So I've got one of these trimmer things, especially legs, because you don't want long hairs with a razor. But then once you're sub 10% body fat, you want to be razoring, right? The definition, the look, some people will say, oh, that's a little bit wet. I don't give a fuck, guys. You want to be looking like a slick machine, okay? Now, everyone who is a savage motherfucker with how they look and their physique always looks better with shaven hair. Now, you might get someone who's going to be in the comments like, oh, well, yeah, that's weird. Well, yeah, maybe if you're 25% body fat and your belly button's wobbling around, right? But like, come on, guys. If you are a lean guy, you all know if you are lean and jacked and veined and striations, you don't want hair disrupting that. You want to be moisturized. You want to be glowing. And you want to see that definition. And you want to be hairless as much as possible. Okay? You can be hairless wherever the fuck you want to be. Right? Fragrance. This is my thoughts. You need 4. I have 4. Now, I'm not going to tell you the exact names of them. One, because I don't know them, actually. I know the brands. I've written them here. I can't think of the exact names. But also, they're mine. And I don't want every other chick thinking, I've smelt this before. Mine are very unique to me. And every chick then can go, I've not smelt this before. And they remember me for my smell. You see, what you don't want, guys, is you don't want... The only exception for this is your gym one, right? Your gym one can be a standard one. You don't want a smell where you go meet a girl on a date and she goes, oh, I recognize this smell. Ick! That's the biggest ick, guys. If you go on a date with a girl and she goes, I recognize this smell, she's just telling you, oh, she's been dicked by 50 guys before who have this same tacky aftershave from fucking Boots. Don't do that to yourself, guys. You're just going to kill your ego and you're going to get fucking soft straight away. Do not let this happen. So you need 4. 3 of them need to be a complete unique one to you. Now, I'm going to tell you the brands because there's hundreds of different ones within these brands. But me, I've personally gone for Tom Ford. Tom Ford are like my holiday one and my day one. I've got Maison Francis Kurkdjian, I think is how you say it. Got that for my evening date night smell. And then I've got Dior as my gym one. Dior Sauvage, I'll tell you that one. Everyone knows Dior. I go basic as fuck. Dior Sauvage for the gym, tacky cheap, whatever. And then I go premium on my day ones, my holiday ones, and my evening ones. Right? You want to go... Now, mine are all pretty premium, especially those 3. You don't need to do this, guys. I know like there's shops like Zara and everything. You don't have to go and get more. I know I wouldn't have necessarily been able to go and spend, and get 5-6 aftershaves that are £400-500 each. Like, it's a silly investment when there's better things you can invest in you right now. So when you've built yourself, you may be someone who's like, yeah, I don't really care. I've got tons of money, right? Well, go get all premium. If not, get 1 premium, right? And the rest just go into like Zara and get the copy ones, okay? But pick smells. You want a sharp one for during the day. This is what you're just going to wear when you're going around. You want a gym one. This is my Dior Sauvage. It's fresh. You can get anything. Aftershave for the evening, you want a mature, richer smell. And then you want a sweeter, more like European-y smell for the holidays, okay? Or summer, okay? Clothing and style. Find what works for you, fits and color-wise. So like me, my wardrobe is very repetitive, guys. Like very repetitive. Someone would be very bored going through. Like I find one thing that works and I just buy 10 of them. I always get asked where are my gym vests from? And I'm like, yeah, I've got 10 of them. I've got like 10 black ones and 10 white ones. And the thing is, guys, as well with clothing, get less, but get good and get more of the same. So like someone was asking where my gym vest was from, and they messaged me back, and they're like, "What the fuck, man? That's like that's £100 and something for a vest." And I'm like, yeah. But I also know I've bought loads of £10 vests and £20 vests. I think America's way better. I see all these American guys. I've met a couple of like influencer guys from America, and they all wear the Walmart ones, and they're sick, right? But you can't really get them over here in Dubai or UK with not them fitting like that. So I get a good brand one, but they're like 100 and something quid. But it's the only one which fits good, but doesn't get the hole. I've gone and got the 10, 20 quid ones, and I used to have one which fit pretty good, and it was from COS. And it weren't cheap. It might have been like 30 quid, but like every wash, the label on the back, a hole would just come out. I'm like, it's actually cheaper to just get better. Okay, so get good and get timeless. So plain black, white, palette colors, beige, dark blue, gray. You want just neutral colors, guys, right? You want to look mature and get good colors. Look at what colors work best for you, though, right? If you are going to do different fits. And then also regarding the fits themselves, just look at like, what is your style? So for me, right, I'm not saying this is correct for everybody. It's not. But for me, it definitely is. I will wear, if I am out in an evening, I will wear smart trousers, like tailored trousers. And I will then wear like a fitted t-shirt, which like shows my aesthetic well, but is very smart, very minimal, no logos on any of my stuff, okay? If I'm like evening style. And there'll be no collar. It will just be a t-shirt, but it'll be that like linen-y or knit fabric, which is just very premium, not just like a normal cotton t-shirt. Or I may wear like a very nice cashmere, not like this one. This is just one that I wear for work. It's just a Boss one. But I'd wear like a very nice premium cashmere one, or something maybe like Loro Piana again. Zeg. I wouldn't have shopped at these places back in the day, but you can get the same style stuff, just a different material from places like Zara. Okay, so I'm like quarter zip, fitted, shows the physique, long sleeve, or top. I never really wear collars. It's very rare. I don't really wear shirts, but that's just my style. Then in the gym, I'm a little bit more slick fitted trackies, premium looking, or cargos with like Balenciaga trainers and then vest. Like I like that casual, fresh, slick blend. I like my own style in the gym where it's gymmy, but it's like bringing fashion to the gym. And then just day to day, like if I'm just sat in my office working, I'll just be quarter zip and some jogger shorts. Like very, very simple. Yeah, like most of my stuff is no logoed unless it's something premium. Like, yeah, I do have the odd, designer top, but not that I've bought in the last few years. All stuff I've owned a long time. You're better off just starting just low price stuff. Just get timeless, unbranded stuff. And as you work up then and your finances increase and you got more money to spend on your clothes and stuff, just again, you get better stuff. But none of my expensive clothes, like none of them are logoed. Okay, like this stuff that I wear sometimes for work, like just like Boss quarter zips is my only exception, really. Trainers, again, you don't want any logos. Even in the gym, I hate like a Nike tick. Like it sounds a little bit too much. I'm not saying that's what you got to do, but I like random trainers. I like ones that no one's got, slick, minimal, and I want to look good with no brands. Like I want to look good in anything. Like if you get a really sharp looking guy, he will look better in just an unbranded plain black t-shirt with unbranded plain black trackies and trainers than a guy who looks average who's in all the designer stuff. Like you want to look good in the most simple stuff, and it's unmatched when you see a guy like that, and you are respected massively for that. So try and minimize logos as much as you can, especially for your premium stuff. And then gym wear, play around with your own style, what looks good. Are you a long sleeve guy, t-shirt guy, vest guy, different sorts of vests? Play around with all of it. And finally, guys, better everything, right? If there's a component on you that you would like to be better, even if it's on the internet not possible to make better, it might be your eyes, it may be your fucking dick for all I care, right? Just make anything you've got better, right? Just go. And I was having this conversation, it was funny, with a very well-known guy in the fitness space in Bali last year. And we were talking about it, and we were in the gym and we were talking about skin at the time, and we were just like talking about looks, Maxim. We were literally talking about it. And we're just talking about, we're just having a laugh. You got to do everything, right? You got to do everything possible. If you're the ugly kid at school, you got to become the best looking kid, right? If you've got bad areas, make them good. If you've got skinny calves, make them big. If you've got skinny arms, make them bigger. If you've got a small chest, make them bigger. Make everything better, 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 better. Make your weaknesses strengths, make your strengths stronger, become undeniable, create the man you want to be, become the Lambo. Like I said at the start of this video, become the Lambo, then by all means go buy the Lambo, and you're going to feel good in the Lambo because you're you, not because you've got the Lambo. If you get the Lambo before, which you most likely won't anyway, because you need to become the man that would attract it. Okay? But the only way you ever feel good is not when you acquire material. I've done this before. I've gone and got the material stuff, but I still know there was components about me that I didn't like and I weren't 100% fulfilled with. And after one day, the material thing wore off and I felt rubbish again. It only comes from you. You got to go all in on you. Create the man you admire. Create the man you respect. And I look forward to seeing you guys progress over the years. Remember, guys, you can create your reality. You can create who you want to be. You can create the career you want. You can create the success you want. You can create the lifestyle you want. You can create the network. You can create the vision. Go after all of it. There is nothing you can't achieve if you think it and not only dream it, but you write it down, you pen and paper, you bring it down into daily habits. You bring it down into daily strategy. Everything in here, guys, it's all in my daily routine. It's all in my habits. Okay, so if you're just an average motherfucker right now, I don't hate you for being an average motherfucker. I hate your fucking habits. Fix your habits. Just like I didn't hate that guy on the left as a person. If I lay into you, I will fucking lay in. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not laying in on you. I'm laying in on your habits. Just like I was laying in on my old habits back in the day. I love everybody. Like, I love everybody. And sometimes I'll get savage. But I'm getting savage at your habits because I love you so much. I just demand more and I can see more in you because of what I've done from where I've come from. Let's go get it, guys. I want to see you win. Drop a comment. Let me know where you're going. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Let's go.